You know what's interesting, guys? We have not heard much about David the Pape, the man that actually attacked Paul Pelosi at his home before the midterm elections. Now, the mainstream media, they were actually trying to push this as some right-wing MAGA Trump supporter when that was not the case whatsoever. David the Pape is an illegal alien Green Party member that has been described by his own family members as a progressive, more in line with a Nancy Pelosi than a Donald Trump. Now, David the Pape is actually, I believe, pleaded not guilty, if I'm not mistaken, but we have not heard much about this whole incident involving Paul Pelosi and David the Pape really since the midterm elections. Now, I found it interesting, guys, that this news actually came out right before the midterm elections. And I also found it interesting that Nancy Pelosi had no security at her home. None. Now, should this really surprise you? It should, but also it shouldn't. Remember, when it came to the whole January 6th thing, Nancy Pelosi had the authority to actually protect the Capitol, but yet she did not do anything. She's not protecting the Capitol. Also, she's not protecting her own home. Well, that brings us to this interview that Nancy Pelosi and her daughter actually had with the New York Times. And this is straight out of a Hollywood movie, folks. I guess Nancy Pelosi, who is supposed to be a Catholic, but we know she's really a fake Catholic, she actually worships at the altar of the Democrats and the leftists and doesn't actually truly worship God. Now, this one bishop, I believe, actually banned her and Joe Biden from actually receiving communion. But there's been other bishops that have actually allowed her to receive communion. She attends Mass, but however, she does not follow the teachings of her religion. Check this out, guys, on Post Millennial. Nancy Pelosi held exorcism in San Francisco home after Paul hammer attack. Yeah. This is interesting right here. Now, I've seen the movie The Exorcist. Love it. Probably the scariest movie you'll ever see in life. 1973 movie with Linda Blair, Max von Sydow. Very, very good movie. If you have not seen it, go and watch it. You will be terrified. But let's read some of this, guys. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi tried to get an exorcism for her San Francisco home after 42-year-old David the Pape allegedly assaulted Paul Pelosi on October 28 with a hammer. Now, there's a lot of speculation as to what truly happened in that home. The story has changed time and time again. NBC News, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, also suspended a reporter that was actually reporting on it, and I don't think we've actually seen him again. A lot of questions still. On Saturday, the New York Times published an interview with former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi and her daughter, Alexandra, who said, quote, "I think that weighed really heavy on her soul. I think she felt really guilty. I think that really broke her. Over Thanksgiving, she had priests coming, trying to have an exorcism of the house and having prayer services. I wonder if she was actually praying for more babies to be aborted, but I digress." The mother-daughter Pelosi pair were talking about the attack when Alexandra mentioned getting an exorcism, which is a ritual, which is a ritual that is defined by the Encyclopedia Britannica as, quote, an adjuration addressed to evil spirits to force them to abandon an object, place, or person. Now, exorcisms actually do happen in the Catholic Church, but from what I actually do understand, it's kind of a long process to actually get to an actual exorcism. So definitely probably not like the movies, but, I don't think there's going to be head spinning or anything like that, but I've never seen one personally. San Francisco District Attorney Brooke Jenkins stated that on the night on the night of October 28, DePape broke into a rear glass door and snuck into Paul Pelosi's room where he was sleeping. No security, folks. And by the way, the Pelosi's are worth like $200+ million. You would think that they can actually get private security. I'm curious as to why there was no private security, especially, when Nancy Pelosi at the time was third in line to the presidency. Now, we know that she was not in San Francisco at that time, and she gets Secret Service protection when she's at the home, but not when she's not there. But these people could actually afford to have private security, but they didn't. According to the DA's office, Paul Pelosi called 911 from a bathroom, and when San Francisco police officers arrived at the scene, DePape and Paul Pelosi were struggling over a hammer, which DePape used to strike Paul Pelosi in the head. DePape was arrested, and Paul Pelosi suffered a fractured skull, which he recovered from. Paul Pelosi said DePape was there for his wife. Okay, I'm messing up my words, but not cutting it out. On November 1st, DePape pled not guilty at an arraignment hearing to a number of felonies unrelated to the federal complaint, including charges of attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon, residential burglary, false imprisonment of an elder abuse, and threats to a public official and her family. As the Daily Mail reports, Nancy Pelosi describes herself as, quote, a devout Catholic, despite her strong pro-abortion stance. And it does mention here about the Archbishop Salvatore Corleone of San Francisco refused to give Pelosi communion over those beliefs. But what do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of Nancy Pelosi having an exorcism at her home? Wants to remove those evil spirits from the home. Now, I suggest that Nancy Pelosi actually read her Bible on her pro-leftist stances that actually do not align with her faith. I mean, she definitely worships at the altar of the left and not at the altar of God. So I find this funny, guys, that she believes in exorcism but doesn't believe that in the right to life. That's pretty disgusting if you ask me. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.